everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Nicole. So this next episode happens on November 11th, Remembrance Day, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start. Visiting the places that Ulysses volunteered at seems like it'd be a great idea, but now that I've followed through and tried to do it, I realized that it was a bit much to ask for. For one thing, no one will tell me jack squat. I tried the place mentioned in the article, but since I'm not part of the police, no one wants to tell me anything about her. I guess that makes sense, that they'd be wary. Her disappearance was most recent. For all they know, I could be in cahoots with the abductor. Oh, how wrong they'd be. If only I knew what the other places she volunteered at, I could try asking the people there, but I get a feeling they'd keep their lips zipped too. This is looking more and more hopeless by the second. And to make matters worse, I nearly forgot I had a shift today at the convenience store. Ted's going to give me such a look if I'm late. I gotta go. I run all the way to the store, taking no time for breaks. Just as it strikes the hour for my shift, I'm just past the glass sliding doors. Ted looks up from one of the aisles as the front doors do that welcome beep. Shaving it off, look close there, Nicole. Yeah, sorry. I was running some errands and lost track of time. Well, clock in and get dressed. You made it. That's what matters. Yep, just a sec. Wait. Get dressed. Crap, I don't have my uniform with me. Ted must notice the look on my face because right now he's giving me a pretty scary look of his own. Spit it out. I didn't remember to bring my uniform with me. I sputter the words out before I second guess it. Ted's going to be mad, sure, but I don't want to think of how furious he'll get if I lie to him. On cue, Ted sucks in a breath, pinches the bridge of his nose, and exhales loudly. What am I supposed to say to that? Shucks, don't worry about it, Nicole. After all, you're my favorite employee, darn tootin'. I bat my eyes at him hopefully. It doesn't seem to work too well. Nope. I'll let it slide this once, since this is the first time it's ever happened, but... Ted points at me, showing no signs of joking. But you can bet I ain't allowing this in my store again, Nicole. Get it together. I nod quickly and obsequiously. Whatever Ted says goes at this point. I don't want to end up like that guy he just fired. After putting my bag in the back room, I step behind the counter, like usual, feeling oddly out of place in my street clothes. As lame as I think the uniform looks, at least it made me feel like I worked here. Right now I feel like I'm some random stranger managing the cashier while the real employee is out back. I sigh and slouch my shoulders. I can't wait for this shift to be over now. As if I didn't have enough on my mind. Nicole. Oh God, what did I do now? I'm sorry. I blurted the word without thinking. Ted just blinks at me, dumbfounded in response. You're apologizing? Why? I guess I jumped the gun. I thought I screwed something up. No, nothing like that. I'd have found it by now if that was the case. I was wondering if maybe there's been something weighing you down lately. Ted scratches the side of his head nervously. I couldn't help but notice that you ain't been yourself. It's like you got your head in the clouds and you're afraid of falling back down, you know? May just be me. Though it ain't none of my business, so I'll drop it if you wanna. No, you got me. I'm actually kinda glad that Ted noticed. I don't want him to think that I hate this job, or most of all him, but I think I can tell him about those messages I've been getting earlier. But I don't think I can tell him about those messages I've been getting either. Ted has enough to worry about, and I don't want to drag him into this. I've just been overwhelmed lately, still getting used to this whole college thing. Better adapt soon, or it'll chew you up and spit you out before you know what hits you. I'll be fine, Ted. Don't worry. I ain't that worried. Ted blushes and looks back at what he was working on in the aisle. I just don't want to see you overworking yourself. Classic, coming from me, I know. But if that's all it is, then it looks like I was the one getting ahead of himself now. I'll pace myself, boss. Good. I don't want you to end up like this one girl I used to know. My interest is immediately piqued. Could Ted be talking about what I think he's talking about? A former girlfriend? Ted jolts upright, face bright red. course not. I don't have time for any of that. The girl I'm talking about, guess you can call her a friend of mine. She used to be a volunteer at a whole bunch of different places around here. Sometimes she'd stop by the store and grab a snack real fast. And that's how I started getting to talking to her. Are you talking about Yuli Shears? Ted pauses and gives me a look that suggests that I hit the nail on the head. How'd you know her name? I read about her in those articles in the disappearance cases. You're describing her in the same way the newspapers did. She was the most recent victim, right? Ted nods grimly. Sadly so. I haven't seen hide nor hair of her since that happened. I heard her folks pulled her out. Good thinking on their part. I know I wouldn't want my kid in some school that couldn't stop this from happening. I nod distantly, though my mind's on other thoughts. Now that Ted's brought up the subject, there's no harm in asking for more details, right? How well did you know Yuli? Well enough. She came in here that often. I smirk. Are you sure you didn't have a crush on her? He makes that same blush again. Man, Ted makes it way too easy sometimes. No, it wasn't that. I just admired her. The girl worked way more than I did. I'd be getting out of my shift just as she was heading to her next obligation. So she was out late a lot. More than your average person, at least. I warned her a few times that she might be biting off more than she could chew, but she never did believe me, that girl. Did she do anything else weird? Ted narrows his eyes at me. Why are you so interested in what I have to say about Yuli all of a sudden? I'm just interested in the disappearances. I want to know more about them. Well, take my advice and don't stick your nose too deep into it. Leave that to people like my pa. Didn't you say you didn't care much about those disappearances? What? Me? No, you must have the wrong girl. I laugh nervously as I try to distract Ted from my obvious lie. Blame a girl for being curious. Even if I only wish that mere curiosity was the only thing motivating me to learn more. Can I just ask one last thing? You just did. Besides that, obviously. Ted shrugs his shoulders in exasperation. Fine, shoot. Did you see her right before she disappeared? Was she acting strange? I don't think she was acting any differently than usual. Oh, but I remember her being worried over living alone until the fall semester. Her roommate went back home for the holidays, so it was just her in a room. Did you want to be the one keeping her company during then? Can it. You said one last thing, so I'm going to ignore you and get back to work. I suggest you do the same. Remember, we're on the clock here. And like that, Ted is back to being all business like usual. I'm beside myself with surprise. Somehow, even without trying, I managed to get some dirt on Yuli Shears. All thanks to Ted, no less. I know he's going to be way mad if he catches me, but I pull my phone out to jot down the things he just told me. I don't want to forget them. Who knows when I might need this information? Nicole, you better not be on your phone. I freeze at the sound of his voice, then quietly I pack my phone back in my pocket. On second thought, it might be better to wait until I'm on my break. And I'm going to end it here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you want to see more, just click the eye at the top, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching!